Welcome to the channel where all you gotta do is, well, clean out the wine cellar. So I've been trying to work on the Bronco and the Mustang and the race car, and yard, all kinds of other junk. Anyway, and I find it challenging because there's a whole bunch of junk in my way, and every time I try to do something I have to move it. So anyway, this is some of the stuff that was in my wine cellar. Most of it's going to get recycled or sold or just thrown in the dumpster. So first thing I did was I built this ramp. Really terrible light right here, but trust me, there's a ramp. So otherwise, there's like a 2-foot. The bottom of the door is like 2 feet up from the ground. So, and then this tries to hit you in the head every time. So that's nice. So anyway, you gotta remember to duck. I don't usually have to duck, so that's pretty hard for me, you know, being vertically challenged and all. So anyway, this is a clean version. You'd never know it. Well, let's get this other light on here. There we go. So it used to be just raw floor from construction. So I kind of chiseled it out and put these pallets. These shelves I built many years ago. So, but yeah, there's still stuff in here. There's a short block for a Saab down there. Probably needs rebuilding. A couple of cranks. This is actually a 2.1 liter crank, which has a longer snout on it for some reason. That's a 2 liter. That's a 2.1 liter. Not sure why that's got a longer snout. Same stroke and stuff. Pistons, rods weigh the same. Anyway, got a seat for a rear-facing seat for Model S in there. Anyway, just a bunch of stuff. Just junk and stuff. BMW parts, brakes, Bronco parts. This came with the Birkin fire system, which never was installed. Yeah, a bunch of Mustang parts, spare wheels and tires for the Sonda, wheels for the Mustang, Bronco fenders, seats. You know, this is like, you saw all the junk that was outside. This is the cleaned up version. This box has a complete wiring harness for the M6, like everything, every wire. That's an empty box, so that's good. And then yeah, tires, spare wheels and tires for the Model S, Model 3. Those are RA1s for the Elise. And there's another spare smaller size, probably should just get rid of those. And then another spare set of wheels. There's 2 more in the shop, in the shed. So anyway, my plan here is to get all this junk outside and organize it into piles. That's all Saab junk right there. This is stuff, just random stuff that's probably worth something to somebody. This is mostly garbage over here. Some dead turbos. Yeah, so this is probably just all going to the landfill. This will go in my scrap bin for steel, cast iron. I don't think those are worth anything. I've never had one crack, so I have a feeling they don't crack. So anyway, yeah, this is, I get myself a week to get this all cleaned up, and my plan is have this organized in such a way that all the stuff I have stored in the real shop, I can just put down here and put where it goes. And then I can find it. So, I got a lot more work to do, but, you know, a journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. And, you know, 12 steps into that 1,000 miles probably, so. And then I gotta extend this. This pallet's gonna have to go in here, but I gotta chisel out all the ground and stuff. And then I'm gonna add some pallets in between these pillars here. Pillar here, and then I'm gonna add one there. Okay, so definitely not done yet, but put a little tarp on the ground here. Got the roof of the Mustang. Still got to dig this one out to make it look like the rest of those. There's the pallet there for it. And then I got some of this stuff organized. Some Bronco bits. It's like a Fox shocks for it, and the dry sump pan that I'm in the middle of building. Clutch for the V10. Well, V10 transmission, so that's a V10 clutch, but that's going on the 4.6. And then I got some S85 bits in here, cylinder heads, and then I got this pallet on the ground and then another pallet on top of it, and I kind of braced it up here so it's good and sturdy. So there's a little cross brace there, and then another one under there, and it's on, you know, cinder blocks to make it level. And then I got another one over here. I don't have another pallet this size, so probably when I get another pallet this same size, which I think I got from a pallet of cement, I think. So anyway, when I get another pallet that size, I'll make it double like that. And I'll have some more storage here, and you can walk around it nice. I got my tires all in the rack here, not all of them, but a lot of them. Some over there. Way too many tires, I don't know. I don't know why. And then I got all the Saab junk on this 4 feet thing. So I got a couple of blocks down there. Got lots of transmissions. These transmissions are hard to find. Generic, whatever, parts, wheel bearings, and yeah. So, and then this one, I'm gonna leave this one for the wifey to put whatever the heck she wants in there. So, you may have noticed that over there there's all my material. Not all of it, but some of it. So this is some 2-inch DOM for the roll cage, and there's some 1.5 inch and some 1-inch aluminum. These are skid plates for the Bronco here. And these were, there's the wheel for the Bronco. The entire package. I only bought one because it takes up a lot of room, and by the time I drive that Bronco, it's going to be old. But I used to have them just like sitting on boards on the floor here, like below. But if I put them there, it's going to be in my way every time I try to, you know, roll something in or slide it out, whatever. So I thought about maybe, you know, making a rack here, but then I'm going to be tripping over them. So I think I came up with a genius solution. I don't know. A bunch of junk here right now, but see, there's a little venty thing right there. Okay. So anyway, I'm going to make that vent removable. And then over yonder, the other side of the wall, there's that vent. So I'm going to make that so it tops up like a license plate frame, and then you can slide the material in through that way, and then put it up on a rack. I'm going to build a little rack up here. That's 25 feet long or 20 feet long or something like that. So that'll be my storage, and then it won't be out. I don't walk back here very often. It's just a bunch of junk. Between parts and kid cars and whatever. Yeah. Stuff. So anyway, that's my plan. I think it's a genius plan. This is not bolted in, by the way. It's this ramp. It's just loose, so I can get access to that if I want to put something big in there or whatever. So yeah. I gave myself a week to do this project, and we're 10 days in, and not done. So let me wander back here. Sonda's got to sit outside today. Yeah, so I'm getting this sort of cleaned up. So I'll probably be selling the pump and junk off of that because I won't need that. But I am going to make a sequential shifter for it. So there's that. And then, yeah, I kind of rearranged a little bit back here. Probably going to rebuild this motor. This is the Wisconsin 4-cylinder that came out of the skid steer. 1.7 liters or something of flathead Fury. 36 horsepower or something. So, yeah, just fun. I'll probably take that apart and grind the valves and hone the cylinders, put some newer piston rings in it, probably update to electronic ignition, you know, and then paint all the tins nice. And anyway, it ran. Last time I drove it, it ran until it didn't. So that's pretty much all cars, right? Ran one park. That motorcycle ran one park too, and then now it doesn't. So yeah, I got my wheel tire machine here, my balancer here, and tumbler, and my giant saw. There's some scales over here, compressor. I'm going to put a real compressor tank in instead of that dumb little thing. But another short block for a Saab, so I probably should put that in. Probably should just rebuild it and make it a complete motor. And then this is my solvent tank, but unfortunately has a flat roof, so it just gets garbage piled up on it. So if you want to use it, 20 minutes of figuring out where all that shit goes. So that's part of my plan here, right? This is my problem. Like, where does this stuff go? And there's no place to put it, so it just gets thrown in there, and then when I want to use this, then I gotta go, oh, okay, well, throw it somewhere else, and then it's in the way of something else. So anyway, this is we're not done. Yeah, we're far from done. Okay, so a couple of hours of digging, leveling, scraping, digging some more. I think I got that ready to drop this pallet in there. I'll probably just test fit it, and then I'm going to pull all those back up because all kinds of dirt and stuff got underneath there. So I'm going to pull them all back up, shovel them out. That's a shovel, in case you guys don't know. This here, one of my contraptions, which is basically just a hatchet head. I have a problem with hatchets and axes and stuff. I always break the handles off, and then it costs more to buy a handle than it does to cost to buy a hatchet or an axe, so I attach them to jackhammers and stuff. Anyway, that's how I am. So anyway, we're making progress, slow. It's like 85 degrees today as well. It's a little cooler down here. It's pretty nice in the wine cellar because, you know, naturally temperature controlled. Okay, I think it's the next day, and I had these old lights that I bought at a estate sale, I don't know, 5 years ago or something. So they were just sitting down in there, with them from 1992 or something. $5. I think I paid $5 for all of them, but anyway, and a whole box of fluorescent tubes, which I understand are obsolete, but I don't spend a lot of time down here. I just need it to be light when I get here, so I ran from that power there. I ran it to here with Romex, like everything else is Romex down here. And black to black, white to white, green to ground. And then I just daisy chained it this one to this one. I still gotta tuck those wires up and stuff, but so they're not great, but you know, it's getting better. Finished digging this guy up yesterday and put the floor in, the rest of the floor. It'd be kind of nice if this thing was the same height here, but so the fact that this one just happened to be the same height, I think I can roll my little trolley through here. Oh, there's a nice spoik, just like I find in the driveway. So anyway, this is taking a zillion times longer than I wanted it to, but whatever. Got to get it done. I also added a little light over here. So now you can, that's going to be my access hole. It'll be bigger than that, but I tried it out. Put one, I don't know if that's 24 feet or, when you buy a 20-foot section, you never know how long. Sometimes they're 20, sometimes they're 22, sometimes 24. And when you show up with a 16-foot trailer, that makes it fun sometimes. Alright, so it's a brand new day. Actually, it's afternoon, but so hacked a little hole in the wall there. Put a brick in there to keep the rodents out. I'll buy a new one of those and fix it on up, but for now that'll keep the rodents out. And all my pile of metal is, well, there's still a bunch of junk out here, but I'm working on it. All my pile of metal is in there. Let me show you what I've done. I think I've completed my lighting. I still have one light left over I might put somewhere, but this seems pretty good. I got some Christmas lights over there for, you know, festiveness. I also put up some yoga mats here. Not that I ever hit my head on that, ever, but it hurts if you do. So anyway, I built me a little structure in here. You can hardly see it, but trust me, there's a structure. There's a 2x4 going across over to here. And then I have these old bike rack things laying around, so now you can just pop that brick out of there and slide it in, and then it hits this, and then that kind of balances it till it gets to there, and so you can slide the tube all the way in, way down there before it gets to the ground. And then once you get a few sticks in, these would be sticks, these here, and you can just go over there and pop them up. And then you can come over here and look at what you got. Let's see, that's 93 wall. Oh, that, yeah, whatever. So anyway, I think this is going to work pretty good. Unfortunately, I don't think it had very well, and this would be a pretty nice place for the chop saw to be. And then if I need a hunk of metal, I can just come down here and chop it and throw it back out the door. But I don't know, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but for now this is way better than what I had. It's not sitting in the dirt, not walking on top of it, you know, that kind of junk. So I still got to do some more, you know, got V-twin blocks laying all over the hell in half of Georgia. This thing's all rusty looking, but doesn't sound great. Seems like there's some sand in there, but she spins. Anyway, I got a lot more stuff to do, but I'm determined to continue until I'm done, and then I'm going to do one thing, I'm going to do it very well, and then I'm going to move on.